Hey, what's up everybody? I am Bear and I decided today I'm gonna do a little bit of a ramble and some Minecraft Bed Wars. Mostly I'm gonna talk a lot more about the channel of what I per se feel or want to do, whether what it is or what isn't to me. But let's first get in a game and then I guess I'll start talking, you know? I wanna say when I was like 9 or 8, I always seen YouTube as a pretty cool outlet per se. Like big YouTubers like Preston Plays and stuff. I got really big into, the money wars, stuff like that, the parkour. And that always really interested me, so that's kind of a huge reason why I got into Minecraft. That and I played a lot of video games with my brothers when I was younger. But just kind of pushed more towards Minecraft for the most part. And I'm not sure what it is about Bed Wars, but I guess it's the fast-paced gameplay that really pushes towards me, like the fighting, the bridging, the money. Just something that's always interested me. And originally, why I started the YouTube channel was a lot because of Minecraft. Something that I had taken a lot of time and thought into when I was younger to do a channel like this, but it didn't quite come out how I wanted necessarily. I didn't realize how much of a difficulty it could be, but it is. And it takes a lot of time to do this stuff. It's not like, you just watch one streamer one day and you're like, hey, I'm gonna make a video, and now you're 600,000 viewers in and you have a huge fan base. No, it takes a lot more than that, and it's taken me quite a long time to understand, but, over time as I've grown older, I've become a little smarter, I guess you could say. More understanding of said situations that this game and YouTube and audiences bring. It's not all something that's just gonna click instantly, and it hasn't for me, quite unfortunately, but that's fine. Just gotta put some more time into it, a little more effort into videos, and I'm sure I'll make it one day. Like, even like this, I don't really do YouTube videos, I do streams, and I stream a lot because I like it. I enjoy the active engagement that I can get from people, and I love seeing how people want to give feedback. Every now and then I'll stream. Some people are like, hey, you want to play together? Absolutely. I love to play with the viewers. It not only gives me somebody to play with, it also gives me somebody to play with even afterward. Not just during stream like how a lot of people treat it. Gives me the chance to fully enjoy the moment that I do have and enjoy the time with those same people afterward. Just creates a good engagement with the community that I would love to be a part of, and I hope I can make it there, but as time goes, we'll figure it out. Whether that's me by myself or I have people who are genuinely interested, and I think it's something that I'd love to push for. But besides Minecraft, young, playing a lot of video games with brothers and stuff, and I've grown fond of a few games necessarily, but what Minecraft has turned out a little more to be like has been a bunch of time, obviously, but a lot of really good experiences. Met some really good people. I met some bad people, but I mean, that's gonna happen with whatever you do, no matter what. You work a job, you're gonna meet bad people. You play video games, you're gonna meet bad people. But there's also great cases where you meet some good people. And I played quite a few games. I played a ton of Fortnite, a ton of Minecraft, a ton of Call of Duty. And I enjoy Call of Duty as much as hopefully anybody else, but the only issue with that is that anytime I make videos, I always get the best on whether it's Rocket League or Minecraft. And it's cool, I enjoy both games. I would also love to have the chance to potentially push for the other two, you know? Call of Duty's one of the other games that I grew up playing with my brothers, and I've tried to stream it, and it's really fun, it's enjoyable. And I haven't done a ton of it yet to fully understand, but I have thought about it and looked a little bit into it and realized Call of Duty isn't what it used to be necessarily for popularity or streaming or having the, hopes and dreams that you could aspire to have as you may have once had the ability to get, you know? It's not like Call of Duty's necessarily fallen popularity-wise, it's just lost a lot of the viewership that it used to have. Which, I think regardless, I'm still gonna make YouTube videos or streams and just enjoy the game, because that's all it is for me. It's easier to have multiple games for me than it is to stick to one. I don't know how YouTubers do it, but I don't hate them for it. They found what they like, they found what they can make YouTube videos off of, and I mean, get a good engagement, and it's worth it for them. To me, it's worth it in the perspective of people get to enjoy what I make, but not in the perspective of they get to enjoy what I make, but per se I come to the point to where I don't any longer enjoy it. Which isn't there for me yet, but it is something I've come to think of, is that just because other people enjoy it, it's a great thing. I love to hear that people enjoy watching me play games or whatever. It's a pretty crazy thing to know, regardless, even if I have 2 or 3 viewers a live stream, but something I've enjoyed is always having people have fun, laugh, enjoy what I'm doing. It's just really cool, and it's something I've always loved, but Call of Duty hasn't been the best for that, which hopefully it'll level out. If not, that's fine. I'm still probably gonna play it a bit, not often like I wish, but I'll still play it a bit here and there. Maybe I'll stream it, maybe I honestly won't. Love to know if it's something that would be worth it, necessarily. But if not, I mean, that's understandable. Feedback's always something I love, especially on YouTube. Something that can hopefully help me grow, get a little bit more information on what I need to do or what I should do relatively, if that's continue doing it or if I were to say stop. But whatever has to happen happens. Whether that's for a reason or not. Whether that's due to somebody else or not. It's just something that I'll have to figure out on my own as long as people are willing to be there with me. And I more or less mean that as in, I've got to figure out if it's something I will fully enjoy doing, or whether I loved it for a little bit and lost kind of touch with it, you know? I don't know. I'm not sure what to talk about. I've never really done a YouTube video like this. I just, kind of felt like it today. And it's something I would love to be able to do a little more often, bring more engagement, bring people to a community that's full of nothing but love and care for each other and wishing each other the best for whatever it is you need or just want. So that's what I feel a community should be. I feel like it should be people who are willing and wanting to come together, not only for per se streamer, but for the factor it could be just a big family of people who are interested in wondering what it means to be a big YouTube family or small or just a couple of people. Just always wanted to have that engagement with anybody because it's always a really good thing to have, you know? I've done a few streams here or there. I've done some that were on Fortnite Save the World per se. I got quite a few people engaged in that, but it wasn't like I would hope it would be. It was more or less, it was giveaways, you know? It was people who were joining more for the interest of gaining rather than giving. That's the best way I could probably put it. And it wasn't because anybody genuinely enjoyed me, it's they enjoyed what I gave. Which isn't always the happiest sense I could say I've ever had, but I didn't mind it because I enjoyed helping people, enjoyed giving these people things that they may have not gotten by themselves, or something that could have just been something they needed at the current moment and they could have got later, but just made their day a little bit easier. And that's what I enjoyed about it. I really loved the aspect of just helping people. But the only issue was, yeah, I was helping a community who didn't have any care for what I did or if I did anything or if I made another YouTube video again. I was helping people who only had the interest of coming by for 30 seconds, getting stuff, and leaving. Which is fine, but it's not the most interesting thing to do as a creator or not. And holy crap. But I just kind of feel that it's a rough situation to choose early on. And I'm still extremely early on enough to know that there's a long road ahead of me before I can fully come to the point where I'm sure of what I want to do. You know, I love streaming, I love doing this, I love videos, I love all of this. It's just kind of a difficult point to choose whether or not I want to continue doing it now or in the next, per se, year, you know? It's a very time-consuming thing, especially the more I get into it, but the less that I get into it, the more I feel that I'm drifting away from something I may love. And by doing that, I might lose the interest in it. I might lose the love I once had for it. But, Jesus, dude, get off my butt. Oh, but, yeah, just always loved YouTube, and it kind of felt like a good place I could call, like, a secondary home, you know? Somewhere I could love. Oh, my lord. But, the more and more I ramble, I say the same thing over and over, and I hate that. I'm not a rambler, I'm not a talker, I'm a listener. I'd love to be able to listen and hear what you guys would have to say. Well, that's much or just not much at all. And I am fully accepting of whatever said thing is. Dude, this dude needs to go away. Get off of my butt. My buttocks. Dude, oh my lord. Why am I getting chased by two people? Are they even gonna fight? No, of course not. I would highly doubt it, apparently. But, I don't know, I guess a little more. I do have a real life job. I do have a girlfriend. So it's not like I have time and only time for this game. It is something every now and then I will sit there and I may not stream, may not make a video for a little bit. Chances are that's just because I'm a little bit tired. I'm not necessarily exhausted. I'm not to that point yet, but I just might be a little tired and might take me a little bit, maybe a day or two, maybe honestly an hour or two. Sometimes I just, regardless of how tired I get, I just want to make a video or stream and hopefully have people who are watching ask if they can play with me because I love it to death. I love being able to have people join my stream, and whether you like or subscribe or not doesn't really matter much to me. I mean, it's appreciated, but it's not any difference to me. It's not like I'm gonna tell you, hey, if you like and subscribe, I'm gonna let you play with me. No, I think that's a really interesting way to go, but it's not something I think I will ever do. Besides, I just enjoy having people to play with. Whether you're on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, even if you're on Nintendo Switch and you want to play with me, I would love to. Nothing wrong with that. I also have realized one thing that I could probably do. I mean, not personally the biggest fan of the idea, but I might work towards turning my mic on during streams. I think that's something that wouldn't be bad to push towards. Somebody was asking me about it. It's a good idea. It's something I don't hate. But I think I might want to wait a little bit longer for that, see how I feel. Maybe I'll give it a test go or not. But I think that's something I want to push a little more towards too. That way I could do more vocal engagement rather than just having to sit there and type each time I reply to somebody because it is a little difficult, but I think that's something I'll push a little more towards just to be able to respond to people quicker rather than, you know, you type in chat, you wait a minute, and I don't respond, which sucks, and I'm sorry about that, but it's something I'll work on as time goes. But I don't know, I'm trying to think of what to talk about. I mean, I'm a huge Minecraft player. I love it. I've got, I think, like 2,500 hours on it on PlayStation as far as I know, which I used to play on Xbox 6.5 years ago now. So it's not like it was crazy long, but it was a little bit of time ago. And it's something that it's just a big part of like the building. For a chance, I'll play Roblox a little bit. I'll play a game like Retail Tycoon. I like to play it for the building aspect, that I can build my own kind of thing. Like Minecraft, I like to build in my survival worlds. I'm not huge on just completing the game. I prefer, you know, sitting there taking a while to do that, and as I go, I build a house. I'm not great at building or anything. It's just something that I've always enjoyed, especially doing it with other people is really good too. It gives me a little more space to think, as well as having somebody else I can ask a question to and see what they say. But, I mean, besides that, I kind of just also really love the PvP part. Because it challenges me to work harder on a game to get better. Same as any other game, you know, you play Fortnite, a lot of people tend to practice. I'm not huge into that. I just like playing the game and see where it goes, whether I like the game or not. I just give it a little bit, and if I get better, I get better. If I don't, I don't. It just matters as long as I enjoy the game to me. That's the only thing that really counts for me when I play games. But besides that, I just enjoy playing video games. Just something that is pretty calming for the most part, unless I'm getting chased around the map, but besides that, it's pretty calming. It's an enjoyable experience, especially playing with others. I feel like it's a good way to create a bond with a community. Same as, you know, vlogging and stuff can, but I feel the bond that you make while streaming a game is such something that's so hard to replicate through anything else. A lot for the reason that you may struggle on one part, it takes nothing but somebody else 20 seconds to help you figure it out. And that's always the best thing, is working on it together as a group rather than just sitting there and be like, no, 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 I'm just gonna do this alone. It's just not worth it, especially when you have people who are more than willing to help in your group that you may have, chat, whatever it seems to be. It's always better for group effort, because if one fails that way, the other can learn from it. Or even if nobody fails, you guys have more perspectives to look at for the new challenge. Whether it's something one of you is good at or neither of you. That way you can at least figure something out together rather than one at a time. That's why I tend to play duos, but I don't really have anybody who plays with me. So it tends to be me and just one random person, which I'm fine with. I don't mind it too much. It is what it is. Something that bugs me crazy. Just sometimes it'd be nice to have somebody else to play with, but you can only do so much, you know? There's only so many people who really play this game like I used to when I was 4 or 5 years ago, you know? I used to play this right after school, I swear. Didn't matter how good or bad I could be doing in school. Didn't matter if I had homework. No, I would right onto Minecraft. No doubt in my mind this was the game I loved, and there still isn't. Something that I can always come back to and fall back on for a little bit. It's an hour, a few hours, a day. I mean, doesn't really matter. I still playing the game. But, you know, another game I've grown up a lot with, personally for me, was Roblox. I really enjoy the fact of how many games there are, whether you're simulators, tycoons, ultra HD games practically, or you're just there to play games pretty much. It's a really good way to just enjoy multiple games at once without having to pay for them. I mean, there's the obvious games you could pay for, like, I think Bloxburg still costs money. I don't honestly remember, but there are games like that you can still pay for, but in the end of the day, the amount of free games that are on it is just crazy. And that actually kind of is the same way as Minecraft, if you factor out the fact that you do have to buy it for 20 bucks, but as long as you can look past that and think about the idea of how the game itself isn't free, but everything in it is so cool to me. I mean, there's the packs, but you could say the same thing for Roblox, you know? A huge game with so many free versions that may not live up to everybody's name, but it lives up to the right people who really want it for the most part. Which is always the best thing to know, is that talking to new people, asking what games they play, what they enjoy, if they still enjoy like they may have a long time ago, or if they're just new to it. It's always cool to hear how different people react to different games. You know, I know quite a few people enjoy Roblox, which I think is great, you know? It's a pretty fair game for the most part. There's not too many issues with it that I could personally see, but same thing as Minecraft, Call of Duty. It's just different groups of people enjoy different games. You know, I know a few people who are really big into Minecraft, and I know a few people who are huge into Call of Duty and Roblox. In the end of the day, though, the way they play it will never be the same as somebody else I really have met. Just for the fact there's such small differences in how people play, it's intriguing, more or less. And it's really cool to see the difference of one to another sometimes. And it can help you learn. Like, in Minecraft per se, I once had this buddy, and it was really weird to think about. It still is, because it kind of doesn't make sense, I guess, in a way, but it does. More or less because, you know, you play the game and you use your sword, your bow, all of that. I don't use a bow anymore. And I was talking to him about it. I'm like, I'm not really good at PvP. What is a suggestion? Because he was pretty good at the time. He wasn't bad. And his first suggestion he was able to give me was stop using bows and just work more on your combat. Strictly sword. It's just sword, you know, no shields, no bow. And weirdly enough, it really helped me. I mean, it kind of sucks because I don't use a bow anymore, and it's weird if I do. And I don't like to because it feels weird, but every now and then I try it. I'm not good. I used to be okay with a bow. I'm nothing crazy to begin with, but I used to be okay with a bow, and it used to be my main weapon, but I couldn't combat good with the sword. I was horrible. Yeah, I just couldn't hit more than one shot on somebody consecutively, which sucked. Until I took his advice and I thought about it. It's not that bad to think about. It's something that I took for a chance, and I've gotten decent amount better. I'm not crazy, but I'm not as bad as I was, clearly. I'm nowhere near that, but it just sucks because I don't use a bow, but besides that, you know, it's simple things like the speed bridging. That's something that can only really happen, I guess, I want to say, on console, because the way it works, I'm not positive, but I know it works quite a bit differently from a PC, but on the other hand, I guess PC itself has its own better flaws. It has its better portions than console. I think a big one, I'm pretty sure, is the turning. You can turn a whole lot quicker and a lot more precise, I guess, versus the slow turning that you can get on console, and it can be precise. It's just nowhere near, I guess, what PC would have. But I think besides that, it's not really something that I see as an issue for either, but I think that's pretty fine as it is. I think one day I would love to own a PC, but it's not something I ultimately see now, versus maybe like 4 or 5 years down the path. But I think at this current moment I want to stick with console, So I really do enjoy it this way. I'm a big controller player. I much prefer it. Had chances and opportunities to go play keyboard and mouse, but I just never really clicked well for me. Not like controller did. But I mean, besides that, I just... Where did you fall? Oh. But besides that, I've just never really taken interest in PC as much. I enjoy the Steam games, I enjoy all of them. There's some great games I could play. There's great games I should play. I think one of the games I wouldn't mind streaming or just making a YouTube video about is, I would say, the Crew Motorsport I would enjoy. It's something I'd have to get back into a little bit. It's been a while, but I enjoy racing. I like a lot of Need for Speed. I personally enjoy Need for Speed Payback. I thought it was a pretty decent game. I know a lot of people didn't. I know most friends that I had enjoyed and preferred Need for Speed Heat over Payback, but I just kind of preferred Need for Speed Payback for some reason. I thought it was just the better of the two, but that's just me. I mean, same as everybody else. They have their own opinion. Whether you prefer Forza or you just prefer Need for Speed. But I think besides those two games, I'm not too sure what else I want to play. I'm more than willing to take suggestions. I've played a few games like Daisy, Splitgate, Apex. I've obviously played Rocket League. I've streamed it a few times. A lot of Call of Duty I've played. Once Halo hits, I believe PlayStation is supposed to be in a year, I want to say. I would enjoy playing that. I didn't mind playing GTA. I wouldn't mind doing... I mean, there's so many games. I guess I wouldn't mind doing Roblox. I don't believe I've streamed that yet. That would be pretty good. There's quite a few games on there I enjoy. A lot of racing ones, especially. But, a lot of the, tycoons I'm really big into as well. I'm not sure what it is, but it's weird. Sitting there and just playing kind of brain-dead games is fun, I guess. If that's how you want to put it. It's the best way I can think to put it. It is that, but, I enjoy that. I'm not sure that's something I would stream. I feel like it's a little uninteresting to watch somebody sit there for an hour. Unless you're watching somebody like Laserbeam who put a ton of money into it, or you're watching Linkmon999 or whatever, you know, these people who made some crazy YouTube videos about having crazy stuff in it. You know, these $1,000 worth of items, these thousands of Robux. Not somebody who has that, but I am somebody who has quite a bit of time on it and has done a lot, played quite a bit of games. I have bought quite a bit of Robux, but that was mostly when I was younger. But per se, if it was for YouTube or something, I would have no issue, you know. It's not something I'd even have to second think about it. It'd be like, well, I mean, cool, why not? Worth it for YouTube, I guess. You know, if I want to make a move to where I want to be on YouTube, I gotta put some work into it. Put some money, time. I have to work for the goal that I would love to reach, and I'm absolutely willing to. Is that, you know? I want to see a bigger fan base, so I'm gonna try to work on growing a bigger fan base, you know? I more or less want to work on a family for me and hopefully others. Create kind of a small community. I'm not looking for nothing crazy, but I'm looking for people that I can call my people, you know? Start up a live stream out of the 3 or 4 people who normally join in, and it's just us, you know? Talking, enjoying, laughing, playing games together. That's all I really look for. I don't have much more wants or crazy needs, you know? Just feel the want for that. That's what I desire, and just desire that kind of. But, I guess enough about games. Personally, I enjoyed, you know, I guess certain specific things. Like, I'm not the biggest into social media. I try to kind of keep away from it because it's a lot of interesting stuff, I guess, to say the least, without saying too much. I think it's a very good way for people to communicate, which I use Snapchat, you know. I have Instagram, Facebook. It's not stuff I commonly use, but I do have. Like Instagram I rarely use. Versus Snapchat I use quite often. I text a friend or two, you know, you want to hang out, or I guess besides that, really all I do on my phone is I use my work group chat, banking, you know, simple stuff like that. Make calls, messages, nothing insane. But I as well as I actually use it for my chat when I stream. I love to be able to try to use something like that. It's the only way I can really do it. I can't do it while on PlayStation, especially not mid-match. You know, exit the whole thing, go message somebody and do that for a little bit. But I running out of stuff, I'm sure you could tell, but thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and it's just a little bit about me. If you have any questions, I would be more than happy to do Q&A. No problem with that. If you don't mind, like and subscribe, but have a good day.